All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Realty Radio Show for episode 8. Today, I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Olivier Sokolowski. I'm sure I pronounced that a little off. But it's episode 8. My name is Rich, your host, your local Denver real estate broker. And I'm super excited to have this young man on today because he is a true inspiration to me, and as he should be a true inspiration to everybody else that's his age. He is a young cat. He has been doing residential real estate, has recently transitioned into commercial real estate. But Ali, I will let you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself to the people, what you're all about, man, how old you are, and yeah, man, give us the spiel.
All right, man. Well, Rich, thank you so much, man. It's a honor to finally be on here, man. I heard all about it. So yeah, Oliver Sokolowski. I'm 22 years old, and I have been probably for like the past about 2 years as a residential agent with Compass. And right now I'm transitioning into commercial real estate, property management, and leasing. So super exciting. Yeah.
Mhm. Killer, man. So yeah, you are 22, man. If I had my head on as straight as you do when I was 22, and I'm sure I can speak for a lot of young folks, man. You truly do shock, awe, and impress me. And um, man, again, if I had my priorities like you do, I'd be in a better place today. But honestly, like I wouldn't be here where I am today if I hadn't gone through the things that I needed to go through as a young man. But man, I remember the first time that we connected. I was actually washing my car in my driveway, and a mutual acquaintance of ours had given me a call and said, "Hey, Rich, you speak Polish, don't you?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I do." And she's like, "Well, I got this young man here. His name is Ali, and he speaks Polish too." And we started chopping it up in Polish, and
Yeah.
the rest is kind of history, man. You came onto the team that I was a part of. You started slanging some real estate.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and those were some good times, man. But tell us a little bit about your transition from residential to commercial, because that is a big change in in deal structures and the type of negotiations and the timelines, conversations, the properties themselves. Tell us why you decided to go that route, and
Mhm.
what spurred that shift, that mind shift.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of it has to do with, I mean, when you're given an opportunity, and I think that's where you always like look for doors that open when you're working for something, and sometimes when you're very focused, it's kind of hard to see those opportunities. But that was kind of one of those instances where you kind of did see that door open for someone that's a great, mutual friend of mine, and truly just kind of just again chatted it up, and I realized that this is something that I truly do see myself doing in the future, and it's truly also I think what leads to you being an expert in something, and being an expert not only means that you can do a lot of things, but you're really good at doing one thing. And that one thing I want to be really good at, and truly kind of being like a pioneer for my generation, even here in Colorado, is being in real estate. So residential was kind of like the launch pad, just to kind of learn the game, get out, understand transactions, understand how to maintain relationships with clients, how to build your own business, right? Kind of be in the shoes, right, of being a business owner, and now kind of scaling into bigger deals, where you're working, with large portfolios, you're working with the owners, you're also working with tenants. And I think it's exciting because it's a very lucrative and a niche market compared to residential, which I think residential is always gonna going to be great, but I think if you truly want to grow, you need to challenge yourself, and make yourself uncomfortable. And I think I was getting a little bit too comfortable, with real estate. It just wasn't really like satisfying to me, like selling cribs and all that. It's dope, seeing people get into their homes, and seeing the smile on their faces, but and our goal is to be a business owner and to be doing commercial, doing residential, fix and flips into development is the long term goal at the end of all that. So it's truly, that's what it is just you're just climbing the ladder onto the next. So mhm.
Awesome, man. And you weren't only given that opportunity in my eyes. You earned that opportunity, man. As a young um, businessman with his head on straight. You've positioned yourself to where you are now to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So, congrats to you, man.
Thanks.
That's kind of the main takeaway that I took from it, from what you just said, and from our previous conversations. Because we've known each other for probably a little bit over a year at this point, but opportunity, man. And again, I'm always in shock, because you're so young and you're so humble. Last year when you came into Compass, you're doing like a lot of different things, man. So you were a residential real estate broker.
Oh
You
yeah.
were going to school, so you got your bachelor's degree, right?
Yep. Bachelor's, yep, in accounting. Yeah. Hmm.
And you were doing invoicing for a general contractor, right?
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, man.
So literally like a full plate, man. At 22 and even 21 and 20, I think you held on to those things. So,
Hmm.
um, man, for anybody that's listening, like, that's in your age group or even older, man, you still inspire me. I'm a decade older than you. Um, but for somebody, in your age, like in your age bracket, how do you stay focused personally and not get distracted by the things that a typical early 20s male would get distracted by? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say, right? Because everyone comes from a different place, right? You grow up in the different, economic situations with different incentives, different family dynamics, different cultures, and I think it's very much due to kind of where I'm from. My family's from since that we're immigrants from Poland, and my family gave me the life, everything that I could have, and I'm very thankful for that. But it's also kind of like understanding that where you came from, and you came from communist Poland and all that, and what your family went through, and that truly this is a gift to be in this country, and I'm very proud to be an American and to truly have that American dream. And it kind of, now I think that phrase is thrown around a lot, American dream. But the way I'll connect it to is just truly is you can be, why not us? Why not us? Why not, us Polish immigrants, that came from nothing? Why can't we have that nice house? Why can't we have that nice car and kind of like that generational wealth? And it's that's kind of where it came from, right? It's like understanding like, hey, if you can start right now and kind of do a little bit of a lot of delayed gratification, right? And what that resulted in is I stayed home when I during college. I didn't live like the typical college life where you're on campus, you're in the dorm, you're partying every weekend. I was just working all the time, and that was just to pay for school and kind of do those responsibilities. But to, again, like it was like borrowed time, and I always had like this thing. I'm like, fuck, like 30 years old, 30 years old, like you got to be at like this certain place. Which now you
Mhm.
shouldn't really dictate with your age by what your success should be, but like why not just like hustle as much as you can, and like use your 20s as a foundation instead of doing a lot of partying. And of course, you need to party and have some fun, right? But I just never like really like just like seeing like that college life. I'm like, that's like 4 years wasted, get your degree and do all that. But I'm like, there's so much time in between that to really start a professional career. And that's when I was like, what can I do that's the easiest thing in terms of getting into a professional career that's easy, that I could do like in college. And I was started looking around, and that's when the pandemic was going on. I think a lot of people had like a reset of like like business wise, mindset wise. And for me, that was like, what if I just start selling real estate? What if I get my license? I can do this on the side, get me through, get a head start, start building a career, connections, and the relationship is truly like the most
Sure.
important thing, right? Is building those relationships. And by the time you're out of college, right? I mean, it's like you're already, 5 years ahead, in terms of, career wise, right? With the experience, right? Money was never really an issue, right? I mean, of course, it's always good to have that income to be able to support yourself and your family, but it's truly like getting the experience, I think, and that's not wasting your time like in your 20s and just building skills, right? And that's where it connects to like understanding residential contracts, like you understanding the lending side, everything to do with mortgages, how do you like, buy investment
Yeah,
properties, how do you run the numbers, and now it's like going into, all right, I'm out of college. I know how to do this. Now it's like commercial where I can use that college degree with that financial background, being in the numbers. And that's kind of what I love too. And that's kind of where it connects to like doing like the invoicing is just being in
sure.
the numbers, and also having that skill of like, I know how to like project like for rehab projects now. Like how much is it going to cost to do, all this drywall, all this electrical, all these fixtures, all this, right? Labor.
Sure.
So it's just learning
Yeah,
skills.
and you've developed a skill set through different, career paths and all of that. And so what I got from that, from your response there, is like money wasn't really the motivating factor, even though you did pick a pretty lucrative career path, man. Because as a residential real estate broker, like you can make some good money,
Yeah.
especially if you're good at it, especially if you work hard, if you're honest and and ethical and personable, which you are.
Hmm.
I think you're a pretty easy person to talk to, but it doesn't seem like the money was ever a motivating factor for you, which I wish I could say the same about me, man. I My wife recommended that I get into real estate, but money was a big part of it, man.
Hmm.
Because I knew that if I was good, that I can make a decent living from it. So I don't want to say that was the number one contributing factor. I think for me, the number one contributing factor for my choice and what I went into was I am not built to work for somebody else.
Hmm.
I've always questioned things. I cannot stand the corporate landscape. I was the guy, in a corporate job where I was literally trying to organize strikes
Yeah.
because I felt that how we were being treated was unfair and this and that. And I knew that, we had leverage. And I mean, I won't get into that, but th-
Right.
that was the primary driving factor for me. And it seems like for you, it's understanding that this is a long play, a long game, and you can utilize your younger years to get ahead of everybody that is partying and doing stupid shit, man, and not,
Yeah.
taking their younger years to springboard them into the golden years, man.
Hmm.
And again, like I said, man, you're humble, dude. And I don't know if this has anything to do with your current mindset, where you are today, but if you're comfortable sharing, man, I'd love for you to share your story about your health journey as a younger boy, and and if that impacted your way of thinking today, as I'm sure it did. So if
Yeah.
you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. That's true too. I mean, that's a good way to put it, and when you kind of have like those, those past life experiences, and I had, leukemia when I was younger and I was 6, and that was like a hard time for my family because both of my parents were getting divorced. I think it was in like the middle of like 2008, like our house was getting foreclosed too. But man, just like seeing like how much your parents stressed through that, because you didn't know if I was gonna be here or not. I'm walking around, I'm bald, I don't got hair and all that. So it's not easy to
You'd
look
be a
like
good looking bald guy, man. You'd be
oh,
looking like me.
man, don't even say that, dude. Nah. But from that, right? I think it's kind of like your body's almost like my theory. It's like somehow like your body is like a 6 year old, just like kind of like gets like super strong, and so like from like the future too, like you just like mature faster, I think that's what it is that you're just like mindset is like you're just matured faster, and like you already kind of went through this pain and you're like, you know I don't want to waste my life, and I want to just keep going, and just take advantage of it. And I think that's where it's like another important factor of like why it's so important to give back, and that's kind of like why I started like helping out like Make a Wish, Denver Children's Foundation now. It's just to give back, to those kids that need help. And I was, one of those wish kids that, I had my wish granted. I could go to I went to Hawaii, and I was all done, a la carte, by Make a Wish, and it's like that's where it's like you got to give back and give gratitude because that's just the biggest force in the world is just giving back, and it's gonna come back to you. So just kind of learn, like, going through that now, it's like that's kind of like where you're humble, right? Because like there's a lot of people that have it a lot worse. And every day, I think in American society too, it's like, oh, like this lack, right? Like I don't have this, or my life's gonna be happy until I get this new car, or until I get to, and then you get to that level and you keep going up, but nothing's really, like you're not changing, happiness wise, no amount of money and all that. Money helps. I do really think that money does help, with happiness because you get that freedom aspect, right? You don't have to worry about a lot of things, but giving back and like is truly the greatest force, So that's kind of what that experience, taught me. That's kind of,
Comparison is the thief of all joy, man. And I think we've had conversations offline about that. It's hard, man, with social media and all of that these days,
oh yeah.
not to compare yourself to younger folks, older folks, more
Mm.
successful folks, this and that. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
all goes back to gratitude, man, and realizing how blessed we are, man. Like you and I live amazing lives, man. Whether we,
Hmm.
realize it today or don't realize it tomorrow or whatever, that's the fact. And we live, in the greatest country still to this day, in my humble subjective opinion,
Yeah.
on the great, in the greatest country on earth, man.
Hmm.
My parents being immigrants too. I was born here, but first generation. I speak Polish with you all the time. I love talking shit with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But gratitude, man, and I think you're overfilled with it. And that's again in my eyes, that's what I see like propels you um, to triumph, man. And as you are. So you've had some challenges. Dude, I want to know about like a win, like a victory, like when you felt like you were standing on the top of Mount Vesuvius, just like I'm victorious, like in the
Yeah.
last couple of years, man. Um, a lot's happened for you career wise. What was a moment where you were truly like, holy fuck, man, like Ali, like you did it, man, like
Yeah.
what was a moment like that for you where you felt like in your heart and you felt just giddy, like you got a win, like a good big win?
Mm. I think I think it was probably when I graduated from college back in May, and it felt so weird because like college was like a blur for me. Like I was like, when I think about college, I'm like, all right, fuck that. Like I did that. I went to school and I dipped out of class. It was
Sure.
just like straight hustle. So you never really got to like understand that, like, damn, like I graduated and I was like, you started a career, and like, and I had a closing the next day. So it was kind of like cool to like kind of like really like step back, and I was like that one moment because I was just running, when you had different jobs doing this at the same time, and you get, you had all this earnest money that you had to worry about, and then you kind of get to that point, right, where it's like, damn, like you can actually celebrate now, and like have a break, probably like a little bit of burnout, but seeing everyone that came out to support too, and that was, like that you supported me, I mean, you came to the dinner, we smoked a cigar, people from the team, like Tina and everyone. I mean, it was like just amazing to feel and like see like your family. I will never forget like the moment where I came out and me and my dad made like eye contact, and it was like, because we never had like a really strong relationship through the years, and also me like career wise, he didn't really like know what I was doing, and just kind of seeing like him seeing me like in a suit, walking out, and like, and it was kind of like, damn, like, like we did it, like we're here, like first generation and all that, that feel it too. Your mom's all teared up, and just seeing her like truly just like being happy. That's kind of when you felt like on top of the world, like job's finished, but it was like the excitement of like, this is just like, we're just getting started. I think that's what it was. Like, I can't give you like one moment where it's like, I felt like I was on top of the world, because I think I still I still got that to do. But that felt really,
Hmm.
just, because it just felt very like, I'm just straight business, for those 4 years. And then now it's like, wow, like, you know, yeah. And you were there to help me, man. And that's like,
You're right, dude. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I mean the fight, dude. I don't know if I think it's David Goggins that says this. You know, the fight never stops, man. Like what terrifies him the most is that feeling of like I've made it. What's next? Like to always have a higher level target that you're shooting for,
yeah,
so that when you do get, it's like a stepping stone, and like, dude, we're not done until we die.
yeah,
And that's the beautiful thing, like knowing that, like it's not like, okay, like once I make $1 million, I'm done, I'm good, or whatever, like it's, dude, no, it's like, what's next, man? You still have so much life
oh
and
yeah.
so much more to accomplish.
Hmm.
Any habits that you have that help you out, like, go through your day to day? I know your recent career, you know uh switch, so to speak, is kind of a different schedule, but anything that you do on a daily basis that helps you stay on track? Any habits, any books you're reading?
Yeah, I think, I mean, number one is just like your health. If you want to be like functioning, at like a level kind of like it's the thing that really helped me was kind of getting like it's called a get shit done list. And what that is every night, before you go to bed, is that you kind of like write a list down of like, hey, these are the things I need to do tomorrow, business wise, personal wise, right? And it's kind of like every day is planned out, right? And when you have a lot of clients, a lot of showings, classes, this that previously, right? It was really important, right? To if you want to be operating, at a high level, while also being, maintaining professional relationships and transactions, and you have all your personal stuff, is to just have that outlined. And then I think, just having a clear mind, right? If you want to operate at your optimum amount, think clear, feel good, is just working out. I love to go to the sauna, twice a week, if I can, sweat out everything, detox, and then just hit the gym. Recently started running in the summer, um, doing, longer distance runs. So that's kind of been like a new thing, and that's just what kind of get when you have like that balance, of you get the confidence, because when you're disciplined, that's where you get your confidence. Practice, practice, practice makes you, that's what makes you bulletproof. Is that that every day, like, damn, like I woke up today and I went to the gym and I ate good, and then I got everything that I needed to do done. Even if it's 1%, you know, it's still like you did everything, right? You just keep doing that every day. That's what you got to do. So I don't have a
Yeah,
million dollar routine,
practice.
but it's just take care of yourself, and just write it down, so because I'll forget. So yeah,
100%, dude. Yeah, I mean, if you fail to plan to fail,
yeah,
right?
hmm
And practice, discipline, um, all of those facets, I think, for me at least, take away a lot of uncertainty and anxiety in, not only business but personally as well.
hmm
Confidence, all that kind of stuff, look good, feel good, all that. There's so many little one liners we can hit each other with, but
that's good, and you feel good.
um,
Discipline, man. That shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
love that, man. Well,
Shit. What are you get? What are
check
you?
this out, dude. I'm gonna flip the script on you, dude, because I typically ask all of my guests if they can go back in time and give themselves some advice.
Yeah.
To what would they tell themselves? I'm gonna flip it on you, dude, because the people that I'm asking, if they were to go back in time and give themselves advice, it's pretty much going back to like your age.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you, knowing what you know now and knowing the man that you are today, in 10 years' time, when you do reach milestones, both in your professional and personal life,
Yeah.
what words of wisdom would you like to tell your future self, knowing who you are as a man today?
So in 10 years, if I'm already at that place, right, what would I tell myself today? My future self.
Yes.
Okay.
Because whether you believe it or not, dude, life is going to get crazier, man. Like
Oh yeah, I
you
know.
might be married, you might have kids, bro, you might have a house, like like life changes,
Yeah.
in a blink of an eye. So while everything is still hectic, but kind of calm in your world,
Mm,
like
very true.
what? Because I'll tell you this, dude. All that stuff comes into your life, and your mind starts spinning, and from experience, you lose almost perception of like who you are at the core because there's so many other variables going on in your life.
Hmm.
And so right now, like you're at the age where like I feel like you have a very good grip on who you are at your core. And so if you can give your future self some advice
Hmm.
to remind yourself of who you are, what would it be? Take a deep breath,
Yeah.
think
Whew.
about it.
I know. That's shit, bro. Don't invest in Dogecoin. Oh man, I mean you can go on. I think it's truly like I don't think I don't think much will change, you know? Circumstances will change, but like your inside will always kind of like be the same. And that's always just like, man, just appreciate. I think it'll be like just like still like always appreciate life, you know when to slow down and just take it all in. And just also just like don't live in the future, just focus on the present, because that's what I would, if I'm still at 30, and worrying about like the future and etc., then it's like you won't be living 100%. So I think it'll be definitely will just be to kind of just focus on who you have around yourself, having a great partner, a great brotherhood, a great family, um, just to keep that going, because that's what lasts, through time. Is just those your family relationships, your platonic relationships. I think that'll be just to keep focusing on that, because it's easy to kind of break away from those things in your 20s when everyone's doing a lot of new things, new career shifts. I mean, you're kind of you're adulting, right, where you're figuring out who you are too, right, what you want to do really with life. And I'm not sure if everyone has that figured out, but it's just to still keep that thing, right, of being humble, caring for other people, right, just checking in on people. I think that's going to be what I would give
I'm
myself.
dude, I'm peeling back your layers, boy. I hope you are strapped in and ready to rock, dude. I'm gonna hit you with another one, man. Where do you see yourself? And I want you to be vivid, dude. Vivid.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Like describe like your morning, dude, like your day. Be super vivid.
Yeah.
I'm talking you wake up, you crawl out of your king size bed,
Yeah, yeah,
throw on your slippers, make your way to the bathroom where you have some heated, heated floors, marble floors.
right.
Turn the shower on, or you turn your steam room on in your 4x6 shower. Like, dude,
Yeah,
vivid. Try it. Try it. You think you can whip something up like that for the people?
I got you, bro. It will definitely be, with my partner, who I love a lot, um, and just waking up, whether next to her, um, going on like a nice ass, like I'm talking like I don't know if I'll be in Colorado, but like a nice like modern hilltop, like Cherry Creek house, that's like secluded, where it's like good foliage, where it's kind of like private, like old money vibes. Smoke a nice like Cuban cigar, and then you got a little espresso bar, coffee bar in your bedroom too, so you just pull that up. We'll do a little sauna session, some cold plunge. Check out the garage, the cool whips.
You going to the office, dude? You going to the office? What kind of
Oh
whip
yeah,
you taking
bro.
to the office?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I mean, I'd love to have probably like a 911, like Porsche 911 GT3 RS, or and then like a day cruiser, kind of like a truck, like a Lambo truck, Urus, back out, kind of
Yes,
pull
sir.
lives, yeah, like what the fuck they doing over there, So yeah, dress nice. I like to dress nice. I think that's super important. It's like for your first impression. Just smelling good. It's hard. Yeah, I mean, just being in a place right where you're just free financially, right? You're around the people you love. Your life partner, your family. So yeah,
Sounds like a beautiful future, man.
go on, man. I mean,
You know, and then
but for real, it's just having that peace, right? Peace of mind. So I've never done.
sounds
Yeah,
like a beautiful future, man. And I know you'll get it. I'm very confident in that, and
for sure.
I'm hoping that our friendship, is a lifetime friendship, and I'm able to enjoy seeing you get there because I truly think that you can get there.
Yes, sir.
Um, Dude, being a Polish guy, man. So you were born in Poland, right?
No, no, no. I was born here.
You were born here. Okay, so you're first
I,
generation, just like I am.
yeah.
But our parents are Polish as fuck.
Yeah. Very
so
Polish.
like growing up, we have experienced different things from like your typical, American childhood, right? Were
Hmm.
there things in your childhood that your Polish parents did to embarrass you?
Uh, yeah, I think that yeah, I mean, it was always just like getting like they were just like no censorship like about like your private matters in front of your friends. Like they would just like randomly violate you, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Or, like put you on the spot. Um, definitely.
Very open.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like they were meant like that were their motive was to embarrass you, but they were
No, no, that's just who they were,
they were
right?
just like definitely like just like fucking like loud as hell. Like if you're like around your friends, they're like yeah you or some shit. You don't put a fucking hat on, then you get yelled at. If you walk outside without your hair's wet after a shower. That type of stuff. So yeah, but I think
Did
it's
your mom pack you lunches?
oh yeah, and it was always like some what is that like that pate stuff on the bread, and all the kids
Man,
like what the
I
fuck?
remember. I remember my mom would pack me lunches back in elementary school.
Yeah.
And dude, you're a 7, 8 year old kid, and everybody at the table opens up. They got their peanut butter and jelly, either with the crust or without the crust, and a bag of Doritos and an apple.
Hmm.
My ass is opening up some Tupperware. I got like, broccoli cranberry, salad. I got silverware, a napkin. I'm sitting here like laying it all out, putting the little napkin in my
Yeah, yeah.
like, man, what I would have done for just a ham and cheese, man.
Oh, oh,
But that's like that was a cultural thing, and my mom, bless her soul, like, now
mm,
I get it, she was feeding me good food,
yeah,
but again, like when you're 7 and 8, like, the person that sticks out, it's a little embarrassing, but,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
Jesus, that kind of stuff is so petty, man, and you don't realize that until you grow up. But I
yeah.
was curious if you went through stuff like that or had anything like that in your child.
All the time. Yeah, I mean, but I look back at it. I'm thankful for them. Because it's just that's just straight love. For all of that. But man, just I remember, you had a party at like 3 a.m. Or when you were younger, you just get that call from your mom like fucking screaming at you in Polish, because it was just like get your ass home. So I was always remember that, but hey, we're here today because of that. So yeah,
Amen, man. Ain't that the truth? Awesome, man. Well, let's wrap it up for the people, man. I wanna give you an opportunity to speak to the younger crowd,
yeah,
and maybe pass on some words of wisdom to them, or one liner like something.
yeah.
Leave them with something, man, because you have so much to leave people with.
Hmm. Yeah, I would probably say, whatever, if you're more career like success like business driven, that I would just say you just be constantly learning. Always, be pushing, always be asking a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable if you don't know something. That's a big thing I did when I was doing real estate. Is when we had like our coaching corners, what they would be called, and I would always be like, just like, this is what's going on with me. Like, how are you guys finding solutions, right? So not being afraid to reach out to people for help. You can't be, you don't know it. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I would say make the effort to meet a lot of people that you would like to be like too. So whether that's, if you want to be a business owner, meet with that business owner in your industry, or get a mentor. Rich, you helped me in abundance, when I was first starting, and I'll always remember that. It was kind of, again, like having like that brotherhood, right, of having someone to like to call, be like, hey, how do I do this, right? And I had multiple people like that, and those people know who they are. But it's truly just finding that person that you can trust. That's whatever in your industry or business, if that's what you're wanting to do. But also just giving yourself some grace. That you just sometimes you won't have everything figured out, but wake up every day and just be like, it's another day, right? You show up, show up, show up, show up. And I think this generation, especially the dynamic of how it is, kind of with like working from home now. I think there maybe is, in certain aspects, a little bit of like entitlement of, how how like social media makes everything feel like it's fast money, and that kind of results in a lot of people kind of like feel like they're going to sit back and like things are going to come to them. Like, you need to kind of be putting yourself out there and truly like putting in the work, because if you can be like that person that's working like 110% versus 100%, like that 10% would just put you ahead so much. Just the way the dynamic has changed in regards to hard work, and whatever career you do nowadays. So just going the extra mile. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Man, Ali, that was way more than a one-liner, dude. But I think what everybody got from that, what what I got from that, man, is
Yeah, dude.
be vulnerable, ask questions, be grateful, surround yourself with people that you look up to and that you want to be like
Yeah.
in your future self, and just aim for the stars, man. Like you have. I'm sure that's what everybody got from it. That's what I got from it personally, man. You are truly an inspiration to myself and so many others.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
I would love to have you on in a future episode, man, as you progress through your journey. I think it's truly special, and you're a special young man. So thanks again for joining us, man. We'll catch you on another one. And that's a wrap, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Have a good one. And that's a wrap on another episode of the Realty Radio Show. Thank you for tuning in and indulging in these honest and thought-provoking conversations. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment on your favorite platform. Remember, the Realty keeps flowing on our favorite social media channels, so connect with us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Until next time, keep steeping in truth, growing with purpose, and embracing the authentic flavors of life. This is Rich signing off. Stay brewed.